Peter Drucker once said, "Whenever you see a successful business, someone once made a courageous decision." But why is no sometimes the better answer? The role of a good consultant is to help educate a candidate to be competent in their due diligence so they can be confident in their final answer. Sometimes the final answer should be no. It's not my job to play God with your life, to tell you if this is the right thing for you to do. It's my job to guide your process, to be the resource to help you know that you've done all the due diligence that you can do so that when you do make your final decision, yes or no, that you feel competent and confident about that decision. But why is no sometimes the better answer? Certainly in the 19 years that I've been a franchise consultant, there have been people that I thought would go on to be amazing franchise owners who it hasn't really worked out that well for. And then there are those people who surprise me who go on to become multimillionaires in their franchise business. So what's the difference, and how do you know if yes is the right decision for you? But more importantly, how do you know if no really is the best decision for you at this time in your life? The first way to determine if no might be the best answer for you is if you've gone through all the due diligence that you can do. So you've gone through all of the phone calls with the franchisor to get educated on what I call the book theory of the business. You've gone out and you validated with 4 to 8 franchise owners in what's called the validation process. You've gone to the discovery day or meet the team day event, which is the kind of culmination of your research. And so even after doing all of that, you still can't say yes. You're still looking for more information. Look, when you say yes to owning a business, you can't know everything. You can't know with certainty exactly how this is going to go. That's an unrealistic expectation of any due diligence for any business. You know why? Because you are the biggest determining factor in your success. So we can use the validation from other franchise owners. We can use the franchisor and the toolbox and everything that they can tell us. But ultimately, we don't know how you are going to perform until you show up and perform. So when you're looking to factors external to yourself, to validate, and you keep talking to owners and you keep trying to ask more questions, and the more people you talk to, it creates more questions than it does answers. Sometimes that's a sign to me that this is not the right time for you. No matter how much due diligence you do, there's always going to be a leap of faith. And that's the part that sometimes makes me nervous for people when they're trying to get a guarantee. They're trying to know with certainty exactly what's going to happen in the business before they say yes. And for those candidates, I believe the best answer for them at that moment is a no. Another sign that no is potentially the best answer is when the process is taking a really long time. So when I start working with candidates, I tell all of my candidates, this is going to be a 1 to 2 month process. We're not going to rush, but we are going to work efficiently, moving from one step to the next step to the next step. There is a reason for that, because the process demands a cadence. You need momentum to change your life. Right? No one's going to change their life standing still, right? You're not going to walk out to the end of that diving board and stand there for weeks and weeks and weeks, looking over into the deep end of the pool, trying to decide if you're going to jump. It's never going to happen. Save yourself the trip, because all you're going to do is curl your toes around the end of that diving board, get your knees shaken, and then probably turn around and walk back off. In order to make that jump off that diving board, especially the first time you're jumping into the deep end of the pool, right? You've got to have the momentum of walking or sometimes running, right? And not thinking about it. Now, I'm not suggesting that you don't think about your final answer. Of course, you have to be thoughtful in your approach. But what I'm saying is that when we set up the investigation time frame, which is a 1 to 2 month process, it's because I know the momentum is necessary in order for you to be able to take that leap. So when the process is taking longer, let's say that, stuff is happening in your life, or your job gets really busy, or things are happening in your personal life with your children, and you're just not able to give the proper attention to the due diligence process. Sometimes it's just a sign that maybe now just isn't the right time, and that's okay. As your consultant, it's not my job to judge you or to push you. It's my job to just point out, look, is now really the best time for you to complete this process and think about saying yes? Now, on the flip side of that, let me tell you, saying yes to a business, there's never a good time, right? To start a business. It's sort of like making the decision to have a baby, right? If you want the result of having a child, you just got to bite the bullet and do it. Because whenever you do it, that's going to be the best time. The same thing is going to be true in starting a business. If you start to overthink the timing of it, you're probably going to talk yourself out of it. When you're a business owner, every single day, you are going to be forced to make decisions without having all of the information. So during your due diligence process, this is the first time, and the first time is always the hardest, that you're going to have to make a decision without all of the information. There is this misconception that in a franchise business, because there is a track record, because there are other franchise owners, that you can know everything, and you can know more than if you were going out and looking at a private business for sale, and certainly a lot more than if you were starting a business from scratch. And these are some of the greatest advantages of investing in a franchise business versus buying a private business for sale or starting a business from scratch. But even with all of that track record and all of the validation, there's still not a certainty that sometimes I see candidates really looking for. So how do you know when you are in that analysis paralysis state? Well, the best way to know is when you've done everything that you can do, that I've coached you to do, meaning you've met with the franchisor, you've done all this validation, you've gone to Discovery Day, you've been awarded the opportunity, but it still just doesn't feel like you can say yes. My candidates who are properly prepared for their Discovery Day go into the Discovery Day event 80% sure that this is what they want to do. They're using that Discovery Day almost as their own closing tool. They're using that Discovery Day to confirm the decision they've already made. They might be going into the Discovery Day thinking about saying yes to one, but in the back of their mind trying to figure out, can I say yes to multiples, to 2 or to 3 territories, or to committing to 2 or 3 stores? But the idea is that they've done so much due diligence that they know everything really they can know. And they're using that Discovery Day event as a day to just meet the team, to explore the leadership, to get a feeling of the culture of the people that they're saying yes to if they're awarded the opportunity to join the franchise. And they're using it all to then confirm this decision that they've already made. Knowing that even after Discovery Day, they're not going to be 100% sure. That is an unrealistic expectation. The best you can hope to be probably is 90% sure. And then we start walking down the path, the plank of that diving board in order to take the leap. But we're using the momentum of the process, one final bounce at the end, to then say yes and dive into that pool. Think of it this way. If you weren't looking for growth personally and professionally and financially, you wouldn't find yourself at this place with so much uncertainty and so much doubt and so much anxiety about, is this the right decision? Spin it positively for yourself and say, the reason I'm here is because I'm ready for this moment in my life. I'm ready to take this leap. It's never going to be easy, whether your net worth is $5 million or your net worth is $100,000. I've met all kinds of people in all different states of their lives with all different types of net worths and all different types of backgrounds. And one thing is common among all of them, that final yes is hard to say. Now, in some cases, I actually have to do kind of like a takeaway with people. If I find you at the end of your process, having done all of this due diligence, and you're struggling to say yes, as your consultant, I'm probably going to say, then the answer, it probably is no. Sometimes that shocks people, but I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to help you get to where you're comfortable to say no. So sometimes I'll say to my candidates, why don't you say no, take the weekend, and see how that feels? Because sometimes just by asking people to take the weekend with a no answer, they immediately feel a sense of loss that then inspires them to say, oh my gosh, the answer is obviously yes. Because if you're feeling a great sense of loss at the idea of saying no, then obviously it's just fear that we had to push through. But sometimes when I give people the out and say, let's say no, let's take the weekend off, let's come back to next week and see, how do you feel? If there's a tremendous sense of relief, then the real answer for you probably is no. Are you in the throes of trying to figure out if your decision should be yes or no? You're not working with someone like me, but you find that maybe my help and my advice could be valuable to you? If so, I'd love to offer you a free consultation. Please leave a comment below or reach directly out to the Daly Coach. And don't forget to like and subscribe.